Okay, we have time for 2 questions. I have one if no one else does. My question is, members of the panel, what have you learned from each other in listening to each other here?
Feel free. Yeah, I've got homework, I know that, I guess.
Well, I learned an awful lot about Botswana and the challenges that they have, and that was pretty amazing. I had not understood how deeply that country was challenged with HIV, so that was one. I think from a corporate perspective, it's always interesting to see how companies are addressing these issues differently. And, you know, I told Kelly I was amazed at the breadth of what Coca-Cola was doing around the world. And, you know, it's fascinating to see how they are incorporating these principles into the business culture, because it really did feel cultural to me. And that's the real challenge. Once you get that into the culture, with Symantec, the culture around gender equality and the drive to get there. I mean, fundamentally inside of a corporation, that's the key. When you can build it into the culture and it becomes cultural for the company, it's a heck of a lot easier to get there. So that's really critical, I think.
I had kind of a similar reaction. I think that there's, in my presentation, I talked a little bit about sort of the lights coming on at some point, and they seem to have come on for everybody about the same time. And, you know, 5, 10 years ago, a lot of these kind of programs didn't exist. I think there was a lot of great intentions, a lot of great work out there, but the willingness to be transparent about it, to set public goals, and just to see the different approaches that companies are doing that make sense for their business. It kind of changes the definition of sustainability, and I think you did a great job of pointing that out. It has to be sustainable for you, your company, and for the environment at the same time. And so it's amazing to me to just see how many different ways, creative ways there are about getting to the same place and being very responsible.
I think what I learned from the presentations is I was amazed just how much work is being done by these major corporates in terms of the social responsibility work, and some even in the area of HIV/AIDS, such as the way that Coca-Cola approaches their work and the kind of work that Alcoa is doing in many places. One never imagined that organizations of this nature do that. So I think for me, it would be wonderful if some of our major industry, which is much, much smaller in our part of the world, could see this kind of work, and perhaps even have some of this kind of information translated to what happens over there. We have a huge diamond industry, and I think it drives our economy, but I think there is so much more that it could do in terms of this kind of work that is just not happening.
I think we'll take a 10-minute break. I want to apologize. We let this session go deliberately because the Botswana case is probably the only one that I know of that's taking on a national problem and involves a major partnership with one of the largest foundations in the United States, a government, and a major company. And it really is a bite-sized piece in a world which needs a lot more of these kinds of partnerships. So let's enjoy a 10-minute break. Thank you very much. Excellent.